not know the real meaning of luscious taste unless you're drinking Kenya's tea. As you take that sip from your cup and the flavors burst open, going down your throat, leaving you craving for more. A Gen Z would say, if you know, you know. Today, right here in Limuru, Tigoni area to be precise, we will be speaking to James Anthony Kariuki of Falindam Estate, who will be giving us details about weeding and harvesting of tea. Come along with me, let's get right into the conversation. Hello, 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 hello. Habari zenyu? Hi, Mr. James. How are you? Thank you so much for having us. Maybe, Mr. James, we can walk up here as you help me understand everything that is happening right here, right now.
Weeding is taking place. This is a newly is a new block which we uprooted, and as it's young tea, we must ensure that the weeds are cleared, and that's what is taking place today. You see, the weeds take up a lot of nutrients from the soil, so we must always safeguard them and ensure that all those nutrients are into the tea.
So what other ways can we use to control the growth of weeds?
We normally spray it. But as you can see the size of the weeds, these ones we have to manually come out and weed them. When they get to a certain level, we must weed them manually. Exactly.
Okay, so I think now we're at a point where I can do it practically. Maybe you can show me how to do it, so we can help in removing some of the weeds.
Yes.
All right.
Let's hear. With the removal of the weeds. Yeah, okay. You see that way.
How many times do you weed before our crop is ready for harvesting?
No, we approximately 3 weeks, 3 months. But that's the time the weed will have come back again. And like I said to you, when the weed is not that big, then we normally spray it. But a good barometer is 3 months.
So the trick is, of course, to use your sprays when they're small.
Yes.
And then when it gets to this level, you do it physically, like we're doing it right now.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you so much. We have learned everything we need to know when it comes to weeding right here at the tea farm. Right now, I think you're ready for harvesting session. Classes in session. Come on, let's go.
Now that you're here,
now that we're here,
you get a chance to pick some tea.
And I'm so excited to do this. I don't even think you understand.
Well, the first thing we need to do is to dress you up.
Yeah.
So this is important for you to have on because it allows you to move in smoothly inside the tea now.
And then now this at the back.
This is at the back. Oh, and then you need to have this.
This as well?
Yeah, this as well. I'll explain to you why you need this.
Okay, so there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
Let's do this.
Now,
we start here?
We start with this.
Okay.
Now, the reason we carry this is because we must keep the table flat. So when you're picking tea, you pick and then you will find certain ones like this that you need to throw so that you can make sure that the tea table stays the same.
So are you talking about this?
This now guides you.
Okay.
So when you start picking tea, now let me show you. You pick 2 leaves and a bud. 2 leaves and a bud.
2 leaves and a bud.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now that's what you now throw back there. But what you do, you don't want to just pick one. What you do, come closer. Come closer. Let's see. This is better.
I'm so careful not to drop it down. Do people just, you know?
they do. You get used to it eventually.
Okay.
But so now when you're here now, you'll start picking.
This?
Yes.
At what point? What's the?
No, it will as short as possible.
Okay.
So you want to use these 2 fingers, yes, and then pull it and just plug it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you pull as many as you can.
Okay.
Yes. And remember, you'll get paid by kilo.
Yeah.
So the more you pick, the better it is for you.
Yeah.
The better you make, and then you sow it there.
All right.
So yes, this with two.
Yeah, like this.
This. And then you press here and pick it up this. Yeah?
Okay.
But it's two and a bud. So this, as I said to you, is for the regular tea. Now let's remember, you did ask me about the regular tea and the green tea.
Yes.
As we're coming close to green tea, it's more delicate. And this is a sort of training we'll need to do, not just to the people that work here, but in other tea factories, farms who will want to process or sell green tea. We'll be picking
one leaf and a bud. So this is for green tea.
For green tea.
Okay.
Now that's the target, to pick that. And as you can see, you'll need to do a lot of work to pick it up.
True.
And also a lot of training, such that you don't take the three and only take the one bud and one. And so we'll need to do some sensitization, teach people, create capacity, so that now it's now done in a larger scale. Not just this farm, in all other farms.
All right.
Because then the pricing is close to double, or even slightly more than double.
So there's an opportunity there.
Exactly.
And the market for it is growing as well.
The market is growing. You know, we must also look at the culture of drinking tea in other places, not just in Kenya, but elsewhere. It's completely changed. New generations come with different, they want flavored tea. And remember, tea has a lot of medicinal values. Now, with green tea, it's becoming very popular. And we need to tap into that market. So generations, the new generation now, we are looking at moving into green tea in a big way.
What would you say is so unique about Limuru tea that sets it apart from tea grown in other regions in the country?
Well, there's also important to understand that the volcanic soil that contributes a great deal to the tea from actually this area. And you will find that the tea from this area is very premium. In fact, it's used to blend other teas. So we actually sit within the entire Limuru Highlands. The volcanic soil contributes a great deal, and the temperatures and everything that goes with it. So we have a fantastic quality of tea that is used to blend.
So we were on the other side where we were weeding, and we saw newly grown tea. How long does it take for you to get to this level where we're ready for harvesting?
As soon as it grows, there's a process where you must cut it and allow it to spread. Now from there, within 2-3 years, but proper production, 4 years.
Now there's a lot of prestige that comes with this area. Considering, as part of our side chat, you mentioned the Queen Mother literally stayed here.
Who stayed here for a night here.
Please give us that story.
That's when she was on her holiday, back in the 50s, and she stayed in that house where you are for one night.
For one night.
And you remember Brackenhurst was an area that the governor frequents quite often. So this was an area that people love to stay. A little bit like Scotland, I would say. So this is it. Yes.
This is like a Kenyan version of Scotland. Now we're going to move.
The clones.
Yes,
you had asked the clones. Yeah, we have 31-8, we have BB35, and we have 6-8, and Maritime. So those are the different clones that the Kenya Tea Research Institute have done a tremendous amount of work in terms of trying to develop clones that can withstand this harsh weather conditions. And with time, we like the new ones we've planted is BB35.
All right.
Yes.
So as I can see here, we're using manual labor to do the harvesting.
Yeah.
There's been the conversation on mechanization. I'd like to hear from your point of view in being a farmer for so many years. What do you think about that, and do you think you'd want to move into the mechanization way of harvesting tea?
Well, firstly, let me say, you never know what will happen down the line. So what we are doing with the newly grown tea, because we've uprooted, about uprooting, we have tea lifespan is 50 years. And we've reached 50 years now, and that's the reason now I started this program about 2 years ago. And with the new planting, we actually are planting it in consideration of mechanization. Because you'll never know in the next 10 years where we'll be. You know, maybe workers will all be there, then what happens with tea farms. So we have that. But having said that, we live here as a family with the people here, and now moving into the green tea manufacturing, which I intend to do. That will not need mechanization, 100%. That one will need the people picking because it's very delicate. And given that it has a high value return, we will still have people picking.
What are you doing as a farmer to make sure even when we do not have consistent rainfall, we're still well taken care of in terms of production?
Well, firstly, remember I mentioned about the clone. So the clone that's now we're planting is a clone that can withstand harsh weather conditions. 6-8, which on the other side we found that when we had the sun, the very strong sun, even early this year, you could find there are some plants that cannot withstand it, and that's big. And that's the old 6-8 that we have. So with the new clones now, they can withstand. And so the only challenges we have today is as we've been planting the new tea, we need to do a lot of watering. Now that again has been a challenge because we have had developers come into this area trying to convert tea farms into housing. Now what has happened is that the natural flow of water has been interfered on to give water to the new developments. So that's a major problem to the tea growing areas. And tea growing areas are demarcated tea growing areas. To have developments coming here have been a challenge to us, not just us, even the people that work here. So, but I'm happy to say that the current governor, by the way, has put down his foot because there's been a lot of corruption in that regard, where farmers have said, listen, is it us or is it new developers who are coming in? And he's been able to put his foot down and listening to us. So in that regard, we are happy that that's happening.
All right. Yeah. Let's talk about the cooperative societies that help govern the tea farmers in Kenya. Are you part of any, and also how do you think they can come in handy in making sure that our Kenya tea farmers are safeguarded in their practice?
The Kenya Tea institutions, as I mentioned, have played a very, very important role right now in developing different clones. We are outgrowers of factories that are here. That's Mabruki, Karirana, and Maraba. And therefore, all our tea is taken to these factories, right? You did ask me about the societies.
Yes.
And the society farms. Now, you'll find actually that those society farms, their quality tea is very good.
Oh, really?
Because you'll find somebody who has 10 acres, 15 acres, and that's all they have, compared to the farms like this with 200. And you'll find that they physically pick themselves. They'll go and pick, and will not say pick one with, let me see, you see. Now this, if you pick this, even when it gets to the factory, this could be returned. And sometimes that does happen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a whole lot. The factory tells you, take it back. And it's going to remove this other one there. Now why does that happen?
And this as well? No? Because you have to have
you remove them. Then so you have to do the sorting again. Now, but you will find in places where they have the 15 acres, they never have that problem because they can manage and they're there themselves, they're supervising themselves, as we'll have various supervisors. And at one point, from time to time, you may find one person doing to get more kilos, picks some that are not good. So they have advantages, and I've seen, and even when you go to this factory, they'll tell you, those society farms have done very well. So the question is now, it's the new generation, the new culture of drinking tea. When are we going to evolve into that? Because then that will be a major boost. Yes.
What is key for you is moving with the times. Moving with the times.
I remember when we had, about 2 years ago, was it 2 or 3 years ago, when we had a big conference here with the former Minister of Agriculture, Peter Munya. And the government said, and they are doing that they will encourage cottage factories. And now that's one way that the government now comes in with you and walk the journey together. And that's what I'm exploiting. That's what I want to work on. That's the reason I want to get into the factory. Yes.
Agriculture, climate smart agriculture, climate action have been discussions that are happening globally right now more than ever. Yes. We recently had the Africa Climate Summit happening in Nairobi, where we had all these world leaders, think tanks, talking about what are we going to do in the space of climate actions, which doubles down to agriculture. In your opinion, when we have those settings, we're talking about those conversations which affect farmers, what do you think is the right thing to do? And do you think with the conversations happening right now, is the execution also happening hand in hand? Or are we still, there's a lot of talking, but implementation is not yet felt?
You know, anytime you bring discussions related to climate change and all that, the discussion is there, and therefore everybody is aware. So like now, for instance, in this area, and I told you the biggest challenges we have, which is lack of water. Our rivers are being diverted to illegal developments. Now you have, the government now will listen to us more. They will now understand, wait a minute, if these people have been harvesting tea, they have livelihoods in tea plantations, how can we protect them? Because you cannot bring developments at the detriment of the tea farmers. So our voices are heard that way. So I'm glad those discussions are being held, because they help us, in, at least when you go to these offices, people can understand what is being discussed.
How does Kenyan tea make you feel when you're enjoying your cup of Kenyan tea right here in Limuru?
Oh, I love it. I love it. and remember, I do go and ask them to give us the tea that we actually harvest from here, so that they do give us our tea to taste. And I believe you me, that's the only tea I take. And once you're used to it, you can't take any other tea that's been blended.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. James.
Thank you.
I feel like I know so much about tea harvesting, tea farming. It's been such a great pleasure being right here in Limuru, enjoying the beautiful scenery and the tea. There you've had it, our lovely viewers. I hope you have learned so much when it comes to weeding and also harvesting. In case you have any questions, comments, feedback that you'd like for us to address, please feel free to talk to us across all our social media platforms. 22422 is our SMS line, and kenyasgold@royalmedia.co.ke is our email address. Please keep watching, because we have absolutely so much in store for you right here at Kenya's Gold.
Ni makala yenye mafunzo tele, hasa kwa yule ambaye hangefahamu namna ya kupalilia, kuyaondoa magugu kwenye shamba la majani chai. Sharti kwamba tupalilie angalau tupate chai yetu ikiwa imara. Asante sana Ngina kwa makala hayo.
Yes, such a fantastic conversation that we had right there with James Anthony Karaoke. He's so passionate about tea, and I have a feeling in another life he wants to come back as a tea farmer. Now, for now, we will be taking a short commercial break, but you do not want to go anywhere, because when you come back, we have a lot more, including an expert in studio that will be shedding more light on tea sector. You do not want to go anywhere. See you after the break.